When I was younger, I was actually extremely unattractive and nerdy and weird, and people didn't talk to me. I had like this big afro. I had braces.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
When I was younger, I was actually extremely unattractive. Can you believe that? Like, I know it's hard to believe that I was nerdy and weird and that nobody liked me. But as you can see, that's the total opposite now. Like, however much that was true then, the opposite is true now. I'm on a reality show. I'm pretty much the coolest guy ever. Like, I don't have to do nerd stuff anymore.
Now that I have more attention physically from women, it's irrelevant, right? That same version of me back when I wasn't attractive, it's irrelevant, right?
Look, this whole being attractive thing is kind of new to me, and I'm sick of it. I get all this attention from women, but I can't figure out who actually likes me for me and who likes me because I'm beautiful. Maybe I should like go into some kind of pod and stay there for a while. Welcome back everyone to season 8 of Love is Blind. Things are really starting to heat up. Actually, they're not at all, really. Everyone's had one date so far, and some of them are already deeply in love. And that is completely normal and okay. There's no need to question it. Nothing's wrong.
I really want someone that just loves me for who I am and doesn't really care about what I look like.
I just need someone to accept the fact that I used to be really unattractive. I'm not now, though, but I was before. But I'm not now. I'm all like handsome and stuff now, but before I was nerdy and weird and unattractive, but I'm not anymore. So anyway, now Alex talks to this girl Madison and they bond over, you guessed it, traveling. And look, I'm not saying you can't bond over traveling. It sounds like she actually has done a lot of it. She spent a lot of time in Europe and then lived in the Middle East for a while. All I'm saying is every person who has ever been on the show loves to travel and they want to travel and see the world. It's almost always the first topic of conversation with people. It's like, what do you love to do? Travel. I want to go do things in places.
Madison! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you right now. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, wait, remind me where you're from.
I'm from a small town. I'm just a nerdy kid from a small town. I used to get picked on. It's no big deal, you know? Something I've noticed about this show is a lot of people are like, oh, in the past, I only cared about looks, and that was the only thing I went for in relationships. But I don't know if going to the other extreme is necessarily a good idea, just to, like, prove that you don't care about looks only. And in a weird way, it shows that they still do care about looks because it's such a big part of the concept, and they talk about it constantly. Luckily, it's just a random coincidence that everyone on the show is usually conventionally attractive, so it just kind of makes the whole thing pointless. They really can't sneak a Gino in here or something, like they have to do this every season. Is love really blind? Can a real connection be formed solely based on personality? Let's find out by picking a bunch of attractive people with no personality.
Do you like to travel?
I'd really love seeing different ways of life, and so that is one of my favorite things ever to do. So I
That's
really
so
love
cool.
that you like to travel.
What are you looking for in a partner?
Travel. I just want someone who's kind.
I'm just looking for a kind traveler. I just really want someone that's willing to take slow motion shots of me walking down hallways. Alright, I know I'm making fun of people for just doing completely normal things at this point. It's more so how the guy introduced himself. I find that way too hilarious now. There are, of course, plenty of moments on the show that are very normal and boring where two people are just bonding over normal shit that anybody would talk about. I'm not trying to rain on everybody's parade and make fun of them just for talking and having a connection. I'm just trying to travel, you know? I just want to travel. I think I'm just frustrated that I'm not traveling right now and instead I'm just making this video.
Really important to me that like people feel safe with me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
You're
God.
saying all the right things, Madison.
Every time I try to be like, all right, I'm not going to make fun of anybody. I'm just going to keep an open mind. I'll just watch the show, all right? It's not like I would be any better on here. I would be awkward too. Anybody would be awkward. And then I watch another minute, and everything I just said just flies out of my brain. It's mostly just people's reactions to completely normal things, like when Tom pulled a chair out for Darcy and she started crying. This whole show kind of has that energy. Somebody will be like, I want you to feel safe, and then everybody immediately wants to award them a Nobel Prize. So anyway, Madison starts telling Alex about her upbringing, and all I could think is, everyone has to write all this stuff down because they're talking to so many people. They're basically taking spark notes on each other and then deciding later on which ones they want to go back to or not. It's just funny to me that their idea of finding a true love connection is flipping through notes and comparing lists of bullet points about people.
Well, I had a rough time in school. I was like relentlessly bullied. I was beat up in the hallway. I remember going into lunch and I'd try to sit down at a table and people would like push my tray off the table.
So obviously this is a very real thing that happens to a lot of kids in high school. I'm not denying that, but I gotta be honest, I don't believe this guy. This might be an unpopular opinion because when I look it up, it seems like a lot of people like this guy, but he just strikes me as the Trevor of this season. I'm not buying a word that he says. However, I have not watched everything so far, so I don't know how it all goes. I'm not trying to be too hard on everybody before I know the whole story. This is just kind of the gut feeling I'm getting. I don't think he's necessarily completely lying about being bullied, but I feel like he's definitely leaving out context and acting like he was just the kid that got picked on by everybody all the time, which I doubt.
And so I'd go like eat alone in the bathroom or like in the practice room and like play piano or something. And I have really bad ADHD. And so I failed high school basically.
All right, yeah, there's definitely some details being left out here. You don't just fail high school because you have severe ADHD. Like, that's not how that works. Of course, it can make things more difficult if you struggle with ADHD, but it sounds like he's kind of just saying, oh, well, I couldn't even pass high school because I had ADHD. I didn't really have a choice. Something is telling me that he's just painting an overly sympathetic view of himself for everybody. Oh man, if I'm wrong about this guy, I'm just gonna seem like another person that's bullying him for no reason. I hope you don't have to go sit in the bathroom, dude.
It's so great how we're like just getting to know each other's voices.
I know.
Like,
Yep, that's the show.
It is gonna be so weird to meet each other and like put the face with the voice.
Oh my God, I can only imagine what that feels.
Oh my God.
Wait, why is that so crazy to think about right now? You guys just met, so it's like just meeting a stranger for the first time. That's all it would be. After people have formed a connection and they're only talking to one person for a while, I can understand why they get really excited about seeing them. But when you just met somebody, it's like, isn't it gonna be crazy when we see each other? I don't know, not really. You probably won't even see each other.
I feel like yesterday we like just did the whole like, who are you? What's your story?
Yeah.
And I immediately wrote down like, Mason's so cool, but like, is he goofy? Will we laugh together?
That is huge for me in a partner. I mean, I want to go home and have someone who is
Oh,
just
she froze.
done with me.
Oh, that's huge for me. Being goofy, acting goofy. I very much enjoy humor. One time I watched a comedy movie and I laughed the whole way through. It was very funny and entertaining. So yeah, humor is very important to me. I enjoy a good joke. I'm also really into commitment and like love and stuff, loving feelings.
I hope you can follow this, but like, I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast once,
Okay.
Okay.
and he was talking about how people will pour like some kind of material into like an ant tunnel, like an ant home.
This is getting pretty tough to follow. I don't know if I can comprehend this kind of information. Mason, you better start acting goofy really fast because honestly, you don't strike me as the goofy type. I don't think you're goofy. You have a very ungoofy personality. I think you're trying to be something you're not. To me, whenever somebody's like, oh, that's exactly what I want, I'm the exact same way. For the most part, it just seems like they're trying too hard. There seems to be a lot of personality mirroring that happens on this show. There are definitely plenty of couples that I just haven't talked about that are more genuine. But whether it's conscious or subconscious, I think a lot of these guys just start telling the women whatever they want to hear.
Ant homes are so intricate underground.
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
No, I just heard about it. And there's different powers out in the universe.
Honestly, she sounds like that meme where people are like, oh, sees one Joe Rogan podcast and then just starts talking about energies and elk meat. I still just can't get over the fact that she told him this might be hard to follow and then proceeded to talk about people pouring molten aluminum into an anthill. And now she's talking about powers in the universe or something. I haven't seen any of those Marvel movies. Is that like the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that?
Yeah.
And how like once you reach a certain energy and certain power, you can actually control the weather. And I was like, oh my God.
What is she talking about? Am I clueless here? Once you reach a certain experience level, you get to just unlock the ability to control the weather? I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to that. She just said if you get enough energy and power, you can control the weather. She's not being very specific, so I'm not sure if she's referring to technology that slightly modifies the weather or if she means like an individual person can control the weather, like Storm from X-Men. Anyway, let's check back in on Dave. Let's see what Dave is up to.
I told some of the girls that I had my own OnlyFans,
Yeah?
and they believed me. I was like, nah, I'm just kidding.
You want to hear the saddest fact in the world? As I was watching the first few episodes, I was like, you know what? Dave might be the saving grace of this season. Dave and Megan seem to be the only two so far that actually have a personality that I can distinguish. And yet all Dave has done so far is just joke about someone being old and then tell everyone he has an OnlyFans. That's where the bar is, okay? You don't have to do very much. They brought like 40 people on this season. We've heard from 6 of them, maybe. No offense to everyone else here, but how can they be that boring to not even make the cut? And they shouldn't take offense to that because being too boring for reality TV is probably a good thing.
What type of kisser are you? Are you like super aggressive kisser, kind of like laid back, kind of feel it out?
I think it depends on the vibe of where we're taking things.
Yes.
Sometimes
All right, Dave, what kind of question is that? Are you like a super aggressive kisser, or are you more laid back, or like when I first see you, should I just go to town, or what? The way he says it, he's implying there's just one default type of kiss that everyone has, and it's just always going to be the same. Anyway, so now we're going to move on to Daniel. He's the 5'8" guy. That's the one thing I remember about him. That's not even that short. He's acting like he's super short. They couldn't even get the short guy storyline right.
I journaled about you last night.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Your name may be in my journal as well.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, after this show, I might have to cut the phrase "oh my god" completely out of my vocabulary. It's a common thing to say, I'm sure I say it a lot, but I mean, come on, it's their reaction to everything. Anything happens and they're like, oh my god. Oh my god.
It means something to me that like you're on my mind.
The first time we talked, if we agreed on something, you kept saying, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like, yeah, true that, or I agree.
That's what I love about you, Daniel. You could have said, I agree, or true that, but instead you said, I'm there with you. That's what a gentleman does, Daniel. If you had said, I agree, I would have gotten up and left the pod forever. When you say you're there with me, it's like you're here with me. It makes me feel like you care about being in this pod with me. Daniel, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I love you more than anybody has ever loved another person in the history of the world. That's not something I say lightly. Like, I don't just throw that around.
For some reason, the response, I'm right there with you, is like, again, so comforting. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're right there.
There's like 6 episodes in the pods. We have 6 episodes of this. The phrase, I'm there with you, is just so comforting to me because it's like, even though we're in different pods, it feels like my heart is in your pod, Daniel.
And then when you talked about like having children one day and being a dad and a family, referring to your wife as the mother of your kids.
She keeps making this point about how he refers to his future wife as the mother of his kids. What else is he's gonna refer to her as? That's what she would be, right? I'm not even trying to say anything bad about Daniel, but why is she giving him points just for wanting to have a family? That's very normal. A lot of people on the show want that. Of course, it's an important thing to agree on, but she keeps mentioning it like it's a very unique thing that he's got going for him. Like, oh, he wants a family and kids. He wants his children's mother to be the mother of his children. I cannot believe that. What are the odds we both want that? I knew I was gonna meet someone special here, but damn, Daniel.
Those are all like notes that I have written on your page in my book.
Yeah.
Literally in quotations, mother of my kids.
All right, I think we get it. I couldn't help but notice this season was supposed to be bigger than ever, but where the hell is this guy? How boring was this guy? What did he do? What did he say? Why did they not include a single thing from him? Here's another background dude. Don't know what his deal is. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video, and the next one will continue into the next episode. Before I go, I just want to say that if you enjoy my videos here on YouTube, I think you'd especially like everything that I have over on Patreon. Unfortunately, it's getting harder to post these videos on YouTube, so all of the support I get on Patreon is especially appreciated. I don't just talk about reality TV on there, although I do have a giant ongoing series on Jersey Shore. There's also some movie reviews, TCAP reviews, and there's a review of a Goosebumps episode. In fact, if you'd like to see a little bit of that, you can click the link in the description and the pinned comment to watch the first 10 minutes of it. The rest of it is available on Patreon if you're interested at all. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for watching the video and for supporting the channel over the years. I'm sorry I haven't been able to post more frequently, but hopefully I'll be able to. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.
I had really severe acne. I wore this big purple sweater every day because I just felt comfortable in it. I remember telling a girl that I had a crush on her in high school, and she laughed in my face